Now we see Bob. Bob desires to be a sexy pebble. He lives among a family of 18. One day he was rolling to the park with the sunlight gleaming on his back. He felt extremely horny. When he arrived at the park, he saw kids frolicking about in the grass. They waddled over to him as he sunbathed his ass. On him they drew a willy. A few hours later, when he'd finished crying, he plucked up the courage to go and look at a rose. But when he saw this rose, he noticed it was the most beautiful rose he'd ever seen out of all the roses that he'd ever seen. And he walked over, plucked up the courage, and farted, and then carried on. And he said to the rose, shit. He's like, I love you. I want to marry you. I really do. Please, love me back. And the rose turned to Bob and said, I'm a man. After a moment of taking in what the rose had said, he shat his pants and ran away from the transsexual. Later that day, Bob walked atop a cliff and died. 24.679711 years later, Bob had evolved into something spectacular, giving him the ability to leave the 1 meter length pond that he'd once fallen into. He had evolved into a flying pube. This allowed him to flee from the water and live in the sky, to shit on humans. The end. He felt the sun on his After a moment of taking in what he just heard, he shat his pants.